Hi, my name's Kara, and I want to show Phil my reactions to like his shows. So hi Phil. You make these videos and you don't, see people watching your videos and their reactions. And I think I have some pretty strange facial expressions, and you don't know, what people look like when they watch your videos. So I haven't watched the full Philip DeFranco show today. It is August 12th at 2:30 p.m. exactly. So
This is a news show. Hello and welcome to the Thursday show. If you're not familiar, my name's Philip DeFranco, and this show really isn't a show. It's just me talking about some of the stuff that mattered in the news to me, starting with our first story of the day, which is a story about an 18-year-old man by the name of Robert Dietz. Fancy last name. And Robert was an 18-year-old boy on a red-eye flight to New York City. And so then, Robert consumed 8 drinks. And I'm not even going to judge him for being underage and drinking. I have a fear of flying. I liquor up, so I get that part. But then, 18-year-old Robert, who was ridiculously drunk, I was like, I need to go to the bathroom. And he stumbled up the aisle, he tripped over some people, and then confused an 11-year-old girl's leg with a restroom. Yep, that's how we're starting out the show today. He unzipped and began to urinate on a sleeping 11-year-old girl's leg, and because red-eye flights are usually uneventful and understaffed, the man was able to finish urinating on the 11-year-old's leg before flight attendants stopped him, which is terrible. Because 1, it feels weird just talking about a little girl getting peed on, and 2, if you woke up and someone was peeing on you, how would you react? There's like no way to prepare for that. Main point, ew. And secondly, Robert was arrested when they landed. He has now been released and will face charges for indecent exposure. And I imagine that's the only charge because there's really no law against peeing on someone, I guess. Unless that would be assault through your urethra. I don't know what. It's weird. Anyway, at least your day is not that bad. Like, no one's peed on you yet. So you got that going for you. Let's move on to the next story. Awkward. But next up, let's talk about Charla Nash, whose name you might recognize because in 2009, a chimpanzee ripped her face off. And a lot of people forget chimpanzees, terrifyingly strong creatures. So like I said, Charla was in the news because this chimp ripped her face off, and there were these graphic photos that I'm not going to show. This is what she looked like before. If you want to see what she looked like afterwards, link in the description. They're there, but they're kind of crazy because the chimpanzee ripped her eyes out. It was just insanely brutal. But now, just 2 years later, Charla got a face transplant in Boston. Especially if you really do want to see, and you click the link, the fact that she has this face and that a face transplant worked without infection, that's amazing. And it kind of makes me happy because even though she won't be able to see, Nash says she's looking forward to doing things that she once took for granted, like smelling, eating normally, speaking clearly, and kissing her friends. And ultimately, it just makes me happy to see someone that's recovering from a terrible accident. And now let's move on to a story we've been talking about all week, and that of course are the British riots. And order is being restored here and there. Prime Minister talking to people about turning off Twitter, Facebook, BBM, specifically to put a close on the current situation, but also for future possible riots. Then of course some Tumblrs came around where they photoshopped pictures of the rioters, and so that kind of made me laugh. One of the biggest and most amazing stories that came out of it were these immigrants who were standing together to defend their community. Like in this place called White Castle, 1,500 Muslims defended their community by lining shoulder to shoulder, all holding swords, hockey sticks, just any weapon they had. And because looters are ultimately pussies, and you'll find this with most criminals. That's why looters, pedophiles, just low-life scum. When you put someone of remotely equal stature against them, they turn into little children. Because they're just people that take advantage of people that are unprepared, unable, or unwilling to fight back, and that's how they thrive. And it was awesome. And that's really who's begun to shine in these riots. These small groups of immigrants who are not only proud of their communities, but of their country. And once again, just gonna echo the point to all the pacifists who are like, violence begets violence. Okay, but you'd be surprised what a punch in the nose will do to you. Because 95% of the time, it puts a bitch in their place. Then we move on to presidential hopeful Mitt Romney, who's in the news today. And it's weird because Republicans really don't have any front runners for the presidential election yet. You have Mitt Romney, who has some points here and there. Some people are calling him a flip-flopper. But the biggest thing is he is a Mormon. And not to cast an all-consuming Southern stereotype, but below the Bible Belt, those Republican Christians are like, what's this Mormonism? Do they believe in aliens and having sex with 18 women at the same time? I don't like it. So religion, a big player in politics, not necessarily on his side. And then you have Michelle Bachmann, who is ridiculous. But anyways, Mitt Romney is in the news because he was at an Iowa State fair and he was asked some questions, got heckled, and this is kind of how it went.
One is we could raise taxes on people. That's not the way. Corporations are people, my friend.
But the main thing people are pulling from the event was this quote: "Corporations are people, my friend." Initial polls on Facebook and a few places here and there and Twitter responses. It seems like the public's reaction is, Mitt Romney is a tool, my friend. To which I get what Mitt Romney was saying. Mitt Romney is saying, don't tax the corporations like crazy. Just take away the loopholes. Like specifically banks that were categorizing themselves as real estate companies, so they got these tax breaks. But in all honesty, Mitt Romney, terrible move. You don't go to a state fair of normal people. And Republicans thrive on that notion, you know, we're a man of the people. We're not like those city folk or in Washington, we're out here with you. But you can't talk about trickle down to fucking farmers that are in like insane $500,000 million debt, working for corporations for essentially like $18,000 to $60,000 a year. And that's their livelihood. And they just get smacked around by corporations and then you say, they're your friend. Because those real people, those farmers, those men of the earth, they know firsthand that trickle down doesn't work. And they're looking for some help. And ultimately, Mitt Romney, unless people start drinking the Kool-Aid, you have no chance to win. But guys, that's really most everything that mattered to me today. I wanted to knock out some personal stuff. One, I started doing semi-daily vlogs again, so if you want to check those out, you can go to youtube.com/PhilipDefranco, or like anything we talk about in these shows, link in the description below. Two, a lot of you guys were asking about the exclusive VidCon posters that, I think there was only like 1,000 made. There are only 100 left, so if you did want the exclusive, oh my god, why is that so cool, poster, there is a link down below to that. And thirdly, just a big thank you to you guys who watch my Monday to Thursday show here. I love your faces. And of course, because it is a Philip DeFranco show, let's give something away. We haven't given away something big in a while, so let's do an Xbox 360. No, Bill, don't do it. It's too big. I'm gonna do what I want. I've never gotten to say that in my life, so yay. Of course, to possibly win said Xbox 360, one, leave a comment on this video, possibly about our question of the day today, which is, what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you on a plane or any public transportation? Let me know in the comments down below or in a video response. And two, clickety-clack that like button. Not only does it help out the show, but it lets me know you care. But guys, like I said, that's everything that mattered to me today. As always, my name's Philip DeFranco, and you've just been filled in. And I will see you next time. Ah, yeah.
Thank you. I have been filled in.